Well, welcome folks this morning. Outskirts of Vicksburg, Michigan here. I'm going here and take a look at a little historical site, and then it's an area they're doing dam repair. The parking lot I'm in right here. We're on South Sprinkle Road, TU Avenue. This used to be a gun shop. All closed now. It's in good shape inside. It's vacant, it appears to be. But I remember this was a hopping gun shop back in the day. Yep. Right next door is quite a home too. Beautiful old brick home. We'll take a look. Nice, huh? All right. Another one right over here on the east side. There's a fisherman right there. That's a nice rig there, boy. That beats the tar out of bass boats up here in Michigan. There's a nice place here. Sorry about the eastern view. And then right down here is the ceramics barn. This is where people went and did ceramics, and there's still a bunch of ceramics that piled up in the front window. Might still be doing that. I don't know. Off here to the east, or to the left, you'll find $1 million mansions around an area of Indian Lake. There's quite a place over there too. We're heading down here into Vicksburg. Look at this place. Huh? Righto. Here's a place I've never been. The Vicksburg Park and Recreation Area. I'll take us a little ride down through here. See what this is all about. Yeah, lots of nice green spaces and a lot of trails going back into the woods. Well, this is a very nice place. Disc golf. Plenty of parking. Yes, we're going to be doing that today. Modern facilities. I'll be right back. A lot of people have missed this corner right here and gone straight into them woods and everything, been killed. That's no kidding. Right here on this corner used to be a big grocery store, and it was raised and morphed into this little gas station right here. Looking to the east, of course. And you can see how crops are planted right up next to the edge of town here. That's the Dene Veterinary Clinic right there. Excellent folks right there. And again, here at the Dead Man stop sign, you can see the cross, and there's other memorials right there. It's really something. All right, let's go up the road here a bit. Straight ahead here, this used to be a tree farm, and they still may be. Look at the old house, huh? Nice. All around here. Prudential Nursery. It's still the nursery. It's still here. Very, very cool. I shall be right back. We're right across the street. What? Super cool park and museum. The property here on this particular corner appears to be up for sale. And we're looking right down very old streets leading into downtown Vicksburg. We're at the depot. We're at the train station, the Union Station. This is Grand Trunk Line right beyond us here, Vicksburg, Michigan. Vicksburg Union Depot. Erected 1904 and 1905, replaced the former wood-framed building that was destroyed in a fire in 1899. The depot served both north and south GR&I and east and west Peninsular Railway, forerunner, the Grand Trunk. Union Depot, to which your train will glide. I sure hope so. I sure know so. Look at there. And here she is. The Union Depot. See what's on the grounds here. Oh, we would hope there'd be a train. It's kind of nice. Folks that travel the rails can see this as the from the photograph, the historical photograph on the other side of the building. Matching it up here. Here are the tracks. I just think the engineers and passengers that to this day, and beautiful here with the sun coming from the east, you can see the old railroad lanterns. So see the red? Get my shadow out of here a bit. Okay, that's where the red light comes from, outside of brothels. In the day, the railroad men would stop and jump off and have an hour or two someplace and go into town, and they'd hang their red lantern outside the brothel and go inside, and that's where the red light was invented. Up, and right here are the tracks. Of course, eastward and westward hoe the wagons. I like the way I use that word hoe in there after talking about the. Anyway, I'll be right back. Very nice. I remember seeing these on the sides of modern train cars, kind of a barcode that they could scan as the car went by and so forth. I don't know how they do it today. I don't hang around much in the freight yards anymore. They took away my paint. No, here's an old box car. Pardon me. Yeah, that is a cattle car too, I bet. And it's not open enough, I don't think. Maybe in the winter time. Yep. Rolling stock. Boxcar, 1909. The caboose is from 1965. The tank car is from 1920. There's the stevedores. I think that's what they call the gentlemen that unload ships and trains. They might be porters, but the porters, they dressed in white coat and tie, and were assistants to everyone on the train, the passengers, the Pullman cars and so forth. Extremely historical, and all of them heroes. There you go, right there. This stuff here wasn't made overseas. Guarantee you that. Capacity, 8,179 gallons. Pretty cool. They've got a stamp right on there. It was built February of 1920. Pretty cool. Longview, Texas. I used to deal with Longview business forms in Longview, Texas. Be right back. You can see right here where the old train line, and this is part of it, went straight through over the street and into the woods, where it's now been turned into a linear walking park like the Calhaven Trail. But this is over here in Vicksburg. Okay, and then over to the side about 100 meters is the new Grand Trunk line that we just looked at. Here's one of the old switching stations, one of the old electrical boxes. And of course, straight in, over through town, past the Union Depot. Pretty cool. Look at these cables. Look at the old power pole. I think it has glass insulators. Let's go out here and take a better look. Now here's about the best view I can get, and you can see the glass insulator is still up there capping the power lines. I have one of those. I have two of those in my collection. Yep. Keep walking through the little village here. These buildings have all been moved here, except the only thing that wasn't is Union Station. Be right back. At least that's what I understand. Union Station was here. I think all these have been moved here. Now in the summer, they're going to have the big hot rod show here in Vicksburg. They block off all the main streets downtown. You'll see that a little later here today. Not the hot rod show, but that. And this park is just filled with hot rods. Okay, it's really something. We're going to try to make it over here on Hot Rod Day. You have to park up and down the city streets in front of people's houses. Some people have their yards open for parking, $10 or $20, things like that. Pretty cool. Well, here's the print shop. I might know something about this. We used to deal with the Vicksburg Commercial. They were great folks. They're downtown, a little bit more modern outfit. But let's see what's in here in a second. Oh boy. 125-year history of the Vicksburg Commercial. Very important. Look at the linotype. Oh, I've had my hands on several of those, and my father, many more than me. I can see some other identifiable things there. They're probably inside here. Let's take a look. Right off the bat, that's a lead and slug cutter. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Yep. I can identify every piece that's sitting here in this shop. There's the lino. Some of them were lead lows, some of them were linotype. That's for the molten lead. Has a lead melting pot. See, it says casting unit right there. All right, and that is a hot pot. And see that lead pig? It's hanging from a little hoist on the end of the bar. Weighs 22 to 23 pounds, and it slowly lowers itself like a clock ticking down in that lead pot, and it melts the lead. And that lead is then piped, if you will, into little forms inside the linotype, fed from this magazine up here on the top. And they're made of brass. They fall down in, and they're cast in those little letters. They have different fonts. They have different magazines of different fonts. And that's how they make the lead type. Right there. You can see down on the floor, he has a dross pail. He'll sit there and he'll skim that lead pot, get the dross off. Goes in the dross pail. This is composing over here. This will be the composing area of the print shop. I can see a Hamilton product right there. You can tell, and I can see a Challenge product. The Challenge product is a little proof press in front of you with the orange band. That looks exactly like a little Challenge proof press. In the very back, you have your type cabinets for putting your type. Some type was made of wood. The wood type is the best, the old wood type. Okay, That's most of the things that were used in the old Ben Franklin pressure presses. Okay, they have one right here. You can see it right here on your immediate front and right. You can see the compression unit. It has the hold down bar open and locked in to its chase on the bed itself, which is right there. You can see a little composition all made up, a little newspaper headlines or so forth. They would tamp that with ink. They then put the piece of paper on top and close the little arm. They would roll that underneath the pressure head, which is right here. You can see the arch and the big heavy wooden handle there. Okay, and once it's underneath there, you pull that handle and she clamps down. That's the clamp, and it'll clamp that paper down onto make the impression onto the ink covered type, and then you release the clamp, roll that table back out into the position that you see it there, the loading and unloading position, open the hold down arm that you see in the upright position, and remove the single piece of paper printed. Now it has to dry, so you have to have drying racks in there for the papers to hang. All right, there's an old letter press back there too. It appears to be a paper shear in the corner. Right back. And our last little view here in composing, letter presses over there. All right. Yeah, very nice and peaceful here, walking through trees and so forth. Here's the village garage. Old piece of farm machinery. Yep, that was definitely horse drawn. It's like a little cultivator. Got you a forge. Alright, let's sharpen them axes. That's just a Visigoth enemy, I'm sorry. More lanterns. Is it an Acme? Meep, meep. Okay, Township Hall is right over there. We have the chapel. We have the old farm. Have the old mill wheel here. A couple mill wheels. Looks like. Nope, just one. Little shed. Looks like some facilities. And back here at the village garage, they do have a cool gravity-fed glass pump. It is encased and locked. And it's Sinclair, as this is a Sinclair gas station before the dinosaur, I believe. This super cool old tree here. It is a maple, it appears, but it is growing all over the place. Really something. Even has a smaller tree here, and one of the branches of this one's growing right up into and infusing to it, melding right into it. It's just kind of like, you know, what was Carpenter here or something? Did he get the idea of the thing from? Anyway, take care, John. Sweet dreams, right? I thought this was a church. I was wrong. Maybe I need to get one or something, but this is a school. The Strong School. It's a one-room schoolhouse. 1902. Super cool. Okay, folks, on the side of the Strong School, they have a storm cellar. Okay? That's exactly what this is. Now, I have one on the back of my home where I live. My home was built in 1937. Now, about 20 years ago, past owner of my home, he had it covered. Okay, they blocked in the entrance in the basement, blocked up the wall there, and then they took the doors and everything off the outside of the home, and then they filled in the steps, and they built a little frame and poured cement and put a nice cement cap over the top of that old storm cellar entrance. But what you do is you unlock that, open the doors, and there's stair steps going down to a doorway that you would unlock in the basement, and then go into the basement to either store things. That was your entry to your basement, or, of course, especially during tornado. Okay, I guarantee you this never had even been thought of yet. The inventor of this device wasn't even the gleam in a man and woman's eyes yet, so to speak. But it's funny how you have the history sitting side by side. My grandparents' home downtown is still there. It used to be a funeral home, and they had a storm cellar entrance that was like this, but 2.5 times wider, and would come out at least out to here. Okay, and it was all cement poured steps in the sides into a wide door going into the basement. And you had to know what that was used for. Exactly right. It's still there. Right back. Okay, here, the little school. Okay, the Strong School. It has 2 outhouses. Okay, one right here and one right over here. Okay, this is appropriate. This is appropriate. And it was by a historian who told me about this one time. And take a look at this farm too. This is really cool. That the teacher used one, the children used the other one. And then I was told by a second historian in another place that the teacher and the girls used one and the boys used the other one. And I'm going to say both of these historians were correct in the areas that those schools were. They were hundreds of miles apart from one another, and I believe that they're both exactly correct. I know here in this area, the teachers and the girls used one, and the boys used the other. That's just the way it was. Right behind me is a cool little private cemetery. Here is Catherine G. Herzog, Sergeant, U.S. Army, World War II. November 9th, 1913, August 17th, 1991. A couple of these little monuments are missing their tops. You can see one's in the back, a little obelisk here. They're still good. These are missing. Dr. Rasmussen. Vicksburg has a dandy hospital, that's for sure. "35-year-old right there, passed away. Hardly can read it past. Looks like they died May 1882. Age 35 years, looks like 8 months and so many days. Yep. Here's mother and father. This one passed away in February of 1887. Yep. Read this one here. Looks like Lydia. I never knew this was here. I knew that this little village was here. I didn't know anything about the Bonners. 1872 or 3, right there. Very historic. I'm going to look more into this. All right back. Well, here's the barn. Sunset Acres. Was moved here in 2005. Very cool. Here's the farmhouse from Sunset Acres, circa 1850. Served as a workshop for women, with a kitchen, the center of their activities. Here you go. There's an active kitchen and a smoking parlor. A parlor. She's ringing the bell. They gonna ring them bell. Oh, never mind. Whatever. Right over here, baby. There's the windmill. There's the rug beater. That needs to be taken to me with a voice like that. Holy crap. There. Assume the positioning. Look at the farm door. Ain't that great? The sunbursts. The corner bursts. Very cool. I'd ring this, but I don't know who'd hear it. Do it work? It says the Independence. Maybe I can. There you go. Sold. American. Right below the windmill is a pitcher pump. Take a picture of the pitcher pump, pumping water into the pitcher. Yep, and they do have something upside down right here. Make it work. There's their storm cellar. Here's their back porch. Certainly the addition. Grandpa put an addition on the farm. Put Grandma back there. No, that's his grandpa cave. Whatever the heck, right? Grandpa needed his ramp. A loaded bugger. Wow, this is good stuff here. There's a planter in the center. Horse-drawn too. Horse-drawn planter. It has a little disc below it. John Deere. Van Buren County. There's a little disc. Also horse-drawn. Got a McCormick Deering. You've heard of McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois? All right. Well, there it is right there. Same McCormick. Here's a reaper. Another little planter. This is a corn crib right here. This is a biffy. And this is the side of the barn, or a bass fiddle, that I can't hit with a bow and arrow. That is the truth. I have tried archery. I was just too, we'll say, deep into riflery. This is not quite appropriate. Some might say, well, this goes right along with what he was just doing. This is a manure spreader. Yes, sir. This is where the farmer would be seated, and he'd have his reins and the horses out here in front, and this right here would be loaded full of manure. And as he motated along, you can see the tractor, or the treads, all steel in the wheels. These are the separators. These are the things right here that tears the shit up. And this is the thing here that kicks the shit out. That's the distributor. It's powered by its own little gear system in this flat link chain, belt chain. Wraps around through the mechanisms down here, and as the little wagon's being pulled, it actuates the chain. The driver can start or stop it right here, and then these begin to spin. And it ain't spinning no yarn. And you don't want to be standing right here. Let's see how she works. Put one of the youngins back there, teach them a lesson. No, no, don't put no youngins nowheres near this. Don't put no oldens nowheres near this. These are made for a one-person use, and the team of horses, that's it. Ma would sit up in the house, and she would come out with a little flag or a dish towel and flick it in the air. She'd flag it in the air and get old Pop's attention that it was lunchtime, and right over there's the pitcher pump, and you better get over there and get cleaned up, or you can get close to coming up near this house. And there you go. I haven't seen one of these for years, but there was one on our property sitting under an old Osage orange tree, and it sat there for decades, and an individual came and all the wood was rotted away. It was just the metal, and it was taken away. That was fine. This isn't it. This is in much better condition. There you go. A Victorian / Edwardian era professional shit spreader. With that being said, we will see you in the next one. Go downtown here in the park and in Sunset Lake and see where the new dam project's going to be built. Be right back in the next one. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my vulgarities. I'll try to clean that up. Have a great and safe day.